from New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Chicago. And today we review some of the conversations we had with them next on The Brink.
Brink. You're joining a group of entrepreneurs, brand makers, business owners, decision makers, power brokers, and risk takers, where we discuss business and marketing issues with insightful solutions. This is The Brink with your hosts Russell Sales and George Cartwright, reminding you that your business is either on the brink of extinction or distinction. Welcome.
Thank God it's Friday.
It is Friday, and we made it.
Made it. What's going on, G Money?
Man, I'm here. I am here, and I thank God that I am here. Gary Graham is in the building.
What's up, Gary?
We thank God that he is here.
Yes.
And that he was with us this week. So we had a good week. He kicked us off, and he's ending the week with us. So
that's good.
That's all good.
That's awesome.
Exciting for us.
We're just as excited for each of you that's joining us either live or will be watching this as a rebroadcast. And welcome to The Brink. This is your daily business leadership and digital marketing videocast and podcast with your host. He's George Cartwright. I'm Russell Sales. And as we were saying, this week we got some real valuable insight from some special guests, some incredible professionals and business owners, investors, and friends. And so we had Gary Graham from Brooklyn, New York, a mental health professional. We talked about, we got a little status checkup on our mental health through COVID-19. Edward Fielder Jr. out of Georgia. He's the funding guy. Talked about funding your business and investments. Becky Sikanofi from Pennsylvania provided some invaluable insight on health and wellness in the digital age, and love to revisit that topic. And then our good friend of ours, John Hedgeman, who's a CPA and runs his firm from Chicago, gave some real interesting thoughts on who the post-COVID-19 winners and losers might be. So we had a lot going on this week, G.
Oh, absolutely. And if you missed any of them, you can find us on podcasts.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
iTunes.
And on YouTube. And we invite you to go out there and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe and the notify button so that you get notified when we post new videos. Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you guys are definitely feeding your mind during this COVID-19 stay in place, shelter in place time. And you've been spending it with us, and that's incredible. Hopefully it's been of value to you. And if you have questions at any time, do not hesitate to ask away either during a live program or after the fact. You can DM us or get in touch with us in any kind of way. But we had a lively week, lots of lively discussions from Gary, who was very courageous in even joining us because he's, mentioned he's from Brooklyn, and he's at the epicenter right now of the craziness that's happening in the U.S. I mean, the stuff that's coming out from friends and colleagues and associates in that area, it's unbelievable for those who are not there.
It really is. And we have people that unfortunately are not taking it seriously and are think that it's a joke. We have people that are rioting in the streets and blocking the way to hospitals and all kind of stuff that has been going on. And I dare say, Russ, we have found that there's some business owners that aren't taking it seriously either. They just folded their tents. Like they just said, I'm just going to give up.
Done.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't know what to do. And so we have tried to give you some information this week on how to make a transition, to pivot. All of the guests that we talked to this week, they said all of them, I think, said one key word, and that was, you got to pivot.
Gotta pivot.
Got to pivot. So you have to be, as a business owner, looking out and saying, what can we do? Where can I go from here? How do I service my clients and customers in this new reality that we have? So
I think that speaks to business owners having a mindset of not necessarily just married to what they do. There, it's a passion. I get it, but how you do it, you have to be flexible. You got to be flexible in how you do that. And Gary brought up an interesting point in that now he, as a counselor, as a someone who sees people face to face and they're sharing their innermost details, he said um, a lot of his clients are young African American men and women, and that's a very vulnerable population that he sees in person. But since the pandemic has had to move over to telemedicine, like a lot of folks in healthcare. But if you don't pivot quickly and be able
right.
to at least offer that, it's not just about your business, but you leave a lot of, in his case, patients in need in a crisis situation.
Need you right now in this crisis, and they're looking for you. Like in his case, because he's at the epicenter, and because they are dealing with what eventually, will, I don't know if it will be PTSD or some form, whatever they, some post-traumatic stress that they are dealing with, they will have to, have these conversations. And so if that is your business and you haven't pivoted to telemedicine or, found a way to service your clients, then, when they need you the most, and you're not there. We'll talk about other businesses where people need them the most. And that was some of the nonprofits that John talked about later in the week, where people are finding their needs. But we'll get to that in just a little bit.
Yep, definitely. Our new buddy Ed Fielder, not new. We've known Ed for some time.
Yeah,
just it was good reconnecting with him, and he brought a lot of energy to the program.
Yes,
and it's interesting to find that type of enthusiasm, because with the vision, I mean, we have it. We might be a little bit mellow guys, but to hear it from the outside, even in catastrophe, there's opportunity.
There's opportunity. And one of his programs is Buy Back the Block. And he said that this is more of an opportunity now to buy your block than ever before. And so there are going to be people that want to give you properties, that want to give you, here, take this from me because I can't afford it anymore. It's just like, hey, just wait, but be looking for opportunities that will abound through this crisis. He referred back to 2008 and 2009 and that crisis where opportunities for businesses, not just real estate homes, but entire businesses and business systems, 40 dentist offices, dental offices and clinics and that kind of thing. Like, so you have to have your sight, your eyes open, and be looking for opportunities and deals. So, and then when you find them, he can get you funded.
He brought up some real interesting points on that. I'm just thinking about the businesses, and we've talked about them for the last several episodes on how the restaurant industry, for example, is really hurting. Mm-hmm. And so you find folks underwater on their business, can't get the type of traffic that they normally do coming through their doors. Obviously, people are sheltering at home, cooking meals at home. So you may find someone teeter-tottering saying, hey, I think I need to sell. If you have an idea and you don't even necessarily need to have all the capital,
right?
But if you can have the idea, you can spot an opportunity, connect and partner with someone who does have it. Our funding guy says, hey, look him up. And it's possible that you can save that business by taking over it. And then say you've never run a restaurant before, you can hire back the folks that was just there to continue to, run the business. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's some strategic things you'll need to do to make sure it weathers this storm, but don't shy away from the recession that we're headed to.
That's
And
right.
that we're in. Don't shy away from it. Edward was reminding us to lean in and be aggressive if you can.
All right.
Someone's taking advantage.
Someone is taking advantage of it, and so if you have your sights set, then you can take advantage of some of those things and some of those opportunities as well. Particularly when it is a part of your passion, it is what you love to do, and you can do your due diligence and understand some of the opportunities that presents itself. Maybe that business is not fully online, or they don't have products online, or they need to expand their product line and do some of those things. And you see that opportunity, but the business owner is just frustrated at this point and can't see those opportunities. If you see them, you can step in and rescue. And you're not just, it's not like you are taking advantage. You are saving jobs. You're continuing to keep what is happening in that local economy working. It has this ripple effect. So,
I see Don, our friend Don from New York, with the New York Energy.
That's right.
Threw out a good comment about maybe new management is needed and a new decision maker at the table with new vision, because this has exposed a lot of folks.
Right.
In a lot of industries that need to get it right. And a lot of entrepreneurs will grow out of this with new solutions to meet the very problems that exist. So why can't it be you? If you already got your hands in a few pots?
That certainly can be.
It's definitely something else.
So
we didn't even talk about the fact that Ed is an author and wrote several books.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And and he has them, and they're for this time. He has a book for entrepreneurs, a devotional. If you're spiritual and you need some guidance and some reassurance and inspiration as it relates to your business, then by all means, go and check out it. You can find it at thefundedguy.com. His book for entrepreneurs. His devotional for entrepreneurs. Then he has Let Them Eat Cake. You can have your cake and eat it too.
Why not?
Why not? And he also has
the art of the flip.
The art of the deal. The art of the flip.
Art of the flip.
Art of the flip. Not the art of the deal. That's somebody else.
Yeah.
Somebody else who did not write his book.
I wasn't going to go there because when you said it was somebody else, I wasn't thinking 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Somebody else wrote that book, but Ed wrote his own. Amen.
Right.
So
definitely you want to check out, avail yourselves of those, resources, and he even put out his personal phone number.
Yes, he did.
So you can contact him directly. So we'll definitely share that on our page as well, because some of you have ideas and you've spotted opportunities in your own area. So I think that's really cool. If we can help you make a connection, give us a shout. Even offline, we'll be glad to do that and then make some introductions.
Yep, absolutely.
We had made a new friend this week, Becky.
Yes.
Beckinoffy. I got her name right.
I loved her energy. I loved, and the information that she shared was timely and important for those of us that are at home and trying to figure out a way to work out, maintain our healthiness, our weight, and those kind of things. And she talked about how she has pivoted her business and some of the tools that she uses to continue to stay in contact with her clients during this time.
Right. No, she's a nutritionist, strategist.
Yeah.
So she gets into the weeds of nutrition and the mental barriers that got you into the position that you're in, which I think is pretty awesome. Oftentimes we jump to the tactics. I need to do this, I need to do that. Let's start with the why. You didn't get out of shape overnight. Most of us haven't. So getting in shape is going to be a process. It's the same approach that we have. We like to sit and talk with businesses and help them understand the mental aspect of it and a strategy besides just running out there. And so she brought that to the table, definitely, and through how she ran her business and how she runs her business, very strategic. All online, so she has patients or customers, clients everywhere, and is not in a hurry just to have anyone and everyone in her business. She filters it and she educates them
Mhm.
as much as possible. I mean, she's open to everyone, but she wants you to know what you're getting yourself into, and so that the expectations are really real. And that's a good takeaway that we all can use in our business, I would say.
Absolutely. Because if you don't know your customer avatar and who that customer is, and you just decide that because you need to eat, and we all do, that you're just going to take on anybody, you are asking for trouble. You're just going to get in a situation that is frustrating for you and potentially frustrating for them. And so you don't want to do that. Know who your ultimate customer is, how you can help them, and then go after those persons. And anybody else that does not fit that, say, here's another resource that potentially would be better for you than I am.
Got to be willing to walk away.
Got to be willing to walk away.
I mean, no matter what, because that engagement will be a waste of both of your times. I think Becky alluded to that. How there was one incident where or client just was not a good fit,
Right.
and so we've experienced that, and it was probably not them; it was probably us. So,
that's kind. It was.
Try to be. Try to be.
Doing too much. Oh, sorry.
Right. Always. And then our good. Anything else about Becky? I mean, it was so much. I really encourage you all to go to her website and check her out if you're in need of stepping up your healthcare, your fitness, losing weight, getting in better shape, getting tighter. She deals with athletes. She trains some Secret Service folks, have a good array of people. So if you're ready to, step it up a bit, why not? And I think we can post that, but it's Live Healthy with Becky, and that's Becky with an I.com. Live Healthy with Becky with an I.com. Check her out. Give her a shot. Shout out. Tell her we sent you. She's cool peeps. And speaking of cool peeps, we had one of our friends, home guys from the Shy, who's weathering the storm of COVID-19 in Chicago, and that's John Hedgeman from the Shy.
Yes.
CPA, and he gave some good perspective on the possible winners and losers after the COVID-19 dust settles, which it's not like we're thinking anybody's really a winner because of this pandemic when you have human lives lost. But as far as businesses, those that will be standing or be at least in a better shape, he gave a little insight on, and you was alluding to it earlier, George, that you have nonprofits seem to be doing pretty well, at least from the ones that he works with.
Mm-hmm. This is a time where people are finding that they have needs that nonprofits feel. The interesting thing about that is that all of us are getting impacted at the same time, and so giving might possibly be down at the time when some of these nonprofits have their greatest need, and so it's putting them in a tight spot as well as some of the hoarding that has gone on, and some of this other, these other buying behaviors that have happened that are impacting some of the nonprofits, particularly those that are feeding people. Again, when so many people are hungry, there are things that I just had never really thought about how interconnected we are and how, the the kids that eat at school, that have their 2 meals that eat at school, what is happening for them, and what's
Right.
now with those. And so these are places that nonprofits are stepping in and stepping up and making sure that those voids and vacuums are filled, but they also need us to step up and help, where we can, to continue to give. And, if you plant a seed and continue to give, you will be blessed in return. And that's just so that they can help who they serve. And the Lord will bless you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a natural result, natural consequence. John also brought up on that note an interesting observation that while we all seem to be, when I say we all, consumers are in the house, not going out at the same rate that we usually would in terms of shopping, people are still shopping.
They are still shopping. I'm still buying from Amazon.
I was going to say, who's the big winner of that right now?
Right. Amazon is winning big.
Amazon wins coming and going.
Mm-hmm.
And others who adopt that same type of philosophy in terms of moving their brand either halfway or in full online, and can have e-commerce at the levels that are needed and be able to accept payment on any kind of way, especially electronically, but how there is a shift right before our eyes to a digital currency of some sort. And so John was reminding us that people need to get their heads around it. Cryptocurrency, the digital dollar that was rumored that the U.S. Treasury was trying to implement even right now, although it didn't pass as part of the CARES Act. It's coming because we're basically there.
We are there, yeah. It didn't take very long for the IRS for them to figure out how I can get you your money. Hey, you know what? Give us your bank account. If you don't have a bank account, if you haven't filed taxes, you need to have a bank account, and we can send you your money. It's going to take you 5 to 6 months to get your check. So
that's motivation for you.
That's motivation. That's some motivation. Like 5 or 6 months. What for you to send me some paper?
No, player. Just put that on a card.
Yeah, just put that on the card. Do something. Here's my account number. And so, just reminded employees, business owners, that they need to be ready to deal with the shift. What do you need to be able to accept? How do you accept these payment methods? What is that kind of transaction like in your locally? And that was something where he talked about blockchain and all those kinds of things that will be happening, and that local businesses don't want to get left behind by not being able to accept do transactions in that crypto space and across multiple currencies, including ultimately if the U.S. Treasury jumps in with the U.S. dollar, digital dollar, or whatever they're calling it. So,
yeah, I think a lot of solopreneurs have figured it out. Folks who are hustling, they'll say "Cash at me" in a second, or PayPal, and they get it. I think once you get a little structure around your business, sometimes we get too formal, and you can still accept those forms of payments. Even if your clients are B2B, a larger business, they'll Zelle you, or they'll do all that kind of stuff as needed. It's trackable, reportable,
right?
So be open to it, definitely. So lots of good jewels, and you can reach John if you have any. If you have any needs for, he does audits and the like, you can reach him at hedgemancpa.com. That's hedgemancpa.com. And he's a good guy to work with as well. So lots of good people, lots of good topics. If you were to say in 1 or 2 words that kind of sums up some similar thoughts that you got this week, what would that be?
Ooh, 1 or 2 words?
Yeah.
Well, I think
not in 1 or 2 words. 1 or 2 words that just come to your mind.
Oh, 1 or 2 words. Okay. I thought
or more.
Well, one of the things that we talked about this week that is relevant but is no longer relevant, or it might be, is the PPP. A lot of people found that information very helpful early in the week by by our funding guy. But guess what? Guess what has happened? Yeah, they ran out of money. So if you were late to the party, if you were late to the party,
that makes no sense.
You were late to the party.
That makes no sense.
They out of money, player. So I don't know, and they don't. The Congress has not come back with a solution for that. In terms of how they're going to help these other businesses, I suspect that they're going to have to come up with another round of funding. But you know,
and you know who's not stepping up are the local banks that are supposed to issue loans with zero interest rates and all types of special programming, and they're acting like it's business as usual,
right?
And,
so that's hard, and that's again another reason why you have to be able to to pivot. We talked about crisis management, thinking about these kind of things and plans, and having some plans in place to deal with the unexpected. Like, these things are going to happen. Nobody could have foreseen this 7 years ago. Barack Obama talked about it 5 years ago, but the impact, I don't think the impact we didn't really know. Like, everything is shut down. No one can go anywhere. There's nothing happening. What does that look like for my business? And so,
and that's visible. That's physical. There's still stuff happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're stressing, and what you're alluding to, pivoting, transitioning into that digital space where goods and services are still running. Amazon is not shut down.
They're not. They beat a whole lot of people to the game some years ago, because they knew that there was going to be this shift to people buying online, when none of us, like, I'm going to go and get a book. There's Barnes and Nobles, and there's a million books and all these other places, and I'm going to go get a book offline. For real?
Right.
Who's going to do that? And they were selling more books. At some point, they started selling more books than Barnes and Noble, the booksellers. And it's like, this is so, and then they moved into from everything from A to Z.
Yeah.
And now they are winning in this current environment. So to the mom and pops out there that are still some of them don't have a website. That is very hard for me to believe that even today you don't have a website or a funnel, some way to reach out to your clients and customers. Please change that today. Like, go and do something today to make sure that you have a digital presence, one, and that your digital house is in order, that that people that are looking for you can find you on Google, that your Google My Business is in order, that your website is functional, it is, I can't even, to say, is it mobile optimized, is just like, 70% of people are going to visit you on their phone. So it has to be mobile optimized.
And when the economy opens back up, they're going to try to look for your brick and mortar to see where you're located, if you're still there.
Yes. Are you still there? Are your hours? What are your hours of operation? When are you coming out as this begins to roll out across the country? Like, are you open? What's your phone number? Can I Google your phone number, Google you, and call you from the Google page? Can you do that? Is the number right? Your hours of operation are obvious, but those things have to be in order. They just have to, please.
It's fundamentals.
Fundamental. Get them in order. And we do this all day. Like, and we are reaching out to businesses and that kind of thing, and just saying, look, you can't be found And if I can't find you and I'm looking for you, I'm looking for you, trying to find you to help you, then your customers who are looking for you can't find you either. Like, and they're not going to look, they're not going to do the kind of deep dive that I'm doing to look for you and to find you. They're just going to say, who's at the top, who's in the 3-pack, who's there. This is what I need. I'm going on. And so that business is lost to you. And so, Russ, how can we help them? What can we do for them?
Well, we can do a few things, G. First, if you actually have a website that maybe it's not been attended to in a while, you're not putting a lot of effort into it. You may have a social site, Facebook page, corporate page, but again, you hit or miss with it, and you want to actually get a picture of what your business, how well it's doing online. Go to our website, on the Brink Marketing Group.com/snapshot. And we have a wellness check, if you will, on the health of your business online. We are giving it to you for free. Go get that report, digest what is there, and then we'll reach out to you and schedule a short little bit of time. We're giving away some consultation slots so we can put a plan together with you to help move you forward. And both of those are free things. The only thing that's not free is the energy that you need to go and do those things. So go and execute on that today. Don't hesitate. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be shocked by some of the things that comes back in the report. At least you know, and you know how to address it. And we can provide some insight on how to clear half of that up fairly quickly, fairly easily.
And if they don't, we're gonna come back Monday. We will have a free way for you to interact with our complete tool. We're going to give you all of the tools that you need to go in, build your website, put your social media page together, have your listings, manage your reputation, do those things. 6 tools that we are going to give you for free on Monday. We'll have more details about that on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So that during this time, and we're doing it because we know that it is difficult for you to make some of you to look out into the future and say, well, I can't afford it right now. So what can I do? Well, we understand that. So we're going to give it to you for free. Our entire tool chest, we're going to give it to you for free to help you get to where you need to be. Because some of the things that we know as we have looked at some of the data coming out of some of these other countries that have come out of quarantine, of what has happened, like how demand has come back, some of the changes that have been made. So we want you to be prepared. You have to be prepared, and it is our passion that you do that. And so we're going to give you those tools. We'll talk about it on Monday and Tuesday about all those tools and how you can get them, and so that your business is ready for the reawakening that is coming. Our president and governors are trying to do it as soon as possible. We don't know exactly when that is. Again, it may have this rolling impact, rolling reopening. But whenever it happens, you need to be ready.
Be prepared. Definitely. So definitely join us on Monday. You don't want to miss next week. We got some heavy hitters joining us. Dr. Anthony Corns.
Yes.
We'll be discussing the business of natural remedies. We got Dr. Terry Parks, who's dealing with the business of, domestic violence and such, which is very appropriate at this time. And a family member, a cousin of mine, a good guy, very well knowledgeable, very well connected, Kevin Williams, the brand maker and entrepreneur who's connected to almost everybody on the planet. He's going to be joining us, so you definitely don't want to miss the folks. And we have some other people joining us, so you got to stay tuned, come back, pull up a lunch, pull up a seat.
That's right. That's right.
For sure.
Meet Jen. Jen's a business owner trying to make it in the digital age. She knows the internet is vital to the success of her business, but her company is hard to find online. She doesn't know when she gets new reviews. And despite her best efforts, Jen isn't doing so hot on social media. Jen needs a way to manage her online reputation. She needs to conquer digital. For Jen to grow her business, she needs to be found online. Search engines, directories, social media, there's so much to do. It's no wonder Jen is overwhelmed. That's where we come in. We have the complete digital solution to help any business owner. With our help, Jen can master her online presence. She can find out where her business appears online and make sure those listings are accurate. She'll see what her customers are saying and can respond quickly and easily. Jen will get alerts on any device every time there's a new review, and she can request feedback in ways that work best for her customers. Then, she can share those reviews to amplify positive word of mouth. She'll know anytime her business is mentioned, even in the nooks and crannies of the internet. Plus, Jen can keep an eye on her competition. So now Jen is happy. Why? Because search engines can find her, which means customers can too. Engagement is up and new business is flooding in, all while Jen is climbing Google's search results. It's brand management done right.
All right, peeps.
We will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend.
End the week well. Be productive.
Yes, sir. See you around, Russ.
All right, my friend.